and enjoy the ride, and do not expect to see a Lambo versus Serral ZVZ here, because these two are very different. In the top right side, we are looking at the main base of the legend, the crazy Zerg that comes up with timings that we have never seen before, the one and only MeomaikA.
And his opponent, his former teammate. They tried to qualify together for WTL, but now they are nemesis. It is GogojOey.
Pull first on both sides. We don't see anything like Bly against Elaser, where not one player decided to take the gold, but both of them ended up taking the gold. That was a ZVZ that I was looking at from my couch, and I was like, oh my goodness. And I was actually a bit concerned for Elaser in that game, because I was like, now you're kind of entering Bly's world. I don't know whose world is crazier, the world of GogojOey or the world of MeomaikA. They both strike me as Zergs that make a lot of units when you expect it the least, and then are somehow still able to transition out of it up to a certain level, of course. There is a reason why the Serrals and the Darks and the Solars play the way they do, and that is because that is optimal video gaming. But the way that these guys approach their matchups, whether it's ZVP, ZVT, or ZVZ, it still looks good, right? You think it's an all-in, and then it's not quite an all-in. And then you think it's another all-in, but it's still not an all-in. And that makes it really fun to watch these two.
Yeah, and because you're expecting the all-in, you sometimes over-prepare, or sometimes you think there's another phase to it and you under-prepare, and that means you die to the first phase. It's just very difficult to play against such stylistic players. And we are going to probably see some really interesting mind games in this series because of the fact that they know each other rather well. And it's not like there's an abundance of Zergs in this particular region. We are going to see these 4 lanes from GogojOey. They kind of snuck around the map a little bit, but MeomaikA was prepared. Not going to be a snipe on the Queen like I'm sure that GogojOey was hoping for. And it will be a full scout, but I think he was hoping for maybe a little bit more. MeomaikA, oh, nice. Going to be able to snipe another lane on the way out. Did small potatoes, but, you know, you take everything you can get.
Yeah, I think scouting is honestly the main priority there, because with only 4 links, you're not expecting to find damage. If you make 4 slow Zerglings without Zergling speed, I don't think you can really bank on killing a Queen or even finding a couple of drones. Maybe 1 drone, right? If you get lucky, you trap it immediately, you find a low surface area, but it's more important to get the scout off. See how many drones your opponent has made. See if the spawning pool is wiggling, if there is a quick lair or not. We do know that GogojOey has gone for a quick lair. He has used his gas for absolutely nothing so far other than that lair upgrade. So he's probably going to queue up +1 missile attacks and maybe even a second. But I think the second Evo is more for safety. Nice snipe, by the way, on an Overlord in the absolute middle of nowhere. GogojOey is making it seem like he wants to go either for a devastating roach timing, or all of this is just to be safe and he wants to go for a quick spire.
Yeah, there's potential to go kind of anywhere with it. You know, we see players like Bly. They love doing this middle of the road where they have the option for both. And they can take the 4th gas. They can stay on 3 gases. They still get that +1 melee or +1 missile and the roach speed. We're going to see, by the way, oh, the Overseer actually does complete. MeomaikA not quite able to get the denial, so that will allow GogojOey to get the scout. Now, there is a little bit of an onus on the 2-base player to get something done with their aggression, but you can't really drone like crazy as the defensive 3-base Zerg either, so you don't necessarily have to get a ton done. There is still that onus, but it's not as big as you might think. It's a little bit like TVP with the 2-base pushes Terran can do, where there's a few options behind it.
What do you make of the 3rd base that MeomaikA has taken, by the way? I feel like I pretty much see everyone take the triangle on this map, and he has actually just taken it at that 12 o'clock spot.
I mean, it's MeomaikA, so he doesn't often take a 3rd base in this matchup as his opening setup. You can see, yeah, GogojOey is taking that pocket 3rd. Maybe MeomaikA was hoping that if his opponent got really aggressive with like a fake Evo chamber, and it was actually some big roach push, that it was a little bit more wide open, and maybe Lings could deal with some kind of attack. Maybe that's what MeomaikA was looking for. Other than that, I don't think there's too much to read into with that. I think it's just maybe a personal preference. But we got something a little bit different here from GogojOey right here, as it's not going to be some kind of +1 roach attack just straight up or 2-1 roaches behind it. We've actually got a very quick +1 carapace for a little bit of an off timing of a 1-1 setup that will allow him to hit pretty hard at a bit of a not random timing, but a bit of a different timing.
Yeah, I'd love to see him at least fire up +2 missile attacks. Perhaps the nerfs showing a little bit here for both players. MeomaikA hit a gnarly supply block at 74-74. Biomorph showed it to us. Basically, he was maxed out on supply, had a couple hundred minerals in the bank, and only then started building Overlords. So he ended up with 4 or 5 Overlords in production at once. That was just not all that pretty. GogojOey hit a minor supply block. Didn't slow him down too much. The one of MeomaikA's side was worse. GogojOey is the one who's going to send his units to the other side of the map first. He's down in roach numbers, but a lot of the roaches are not in the right position. Bit of a move command there for quite some time. It's okay if you have way more than your opponent, but I actually think that these numbers are going to be very close. MeomaikA has a lot of roaches on the other side of the map, and he's actually just going to be fine defensively, and I think smash this defensive force of GogojOey. And GogojOey is not going to get any value out of the fact that he had a +1 upgrade advantage. He was down in units, did not see this counterattack coming at all, and this could very well just be an rather underwhelming end to game 1. I know that MeomaikA will not give a damn about it because this game is super important. He just wants to win this best of 3, and he'll take the 1-0 lead. What an awkward moment for this game to end.
Yeah, and just an awkward game in general, I would say. MeomaikA cut drones at 44, which is good as a defensive setup, but he was gearing up for an attack timing the whole time with his own +1 missile and roach speed. And it was just kind of strange because GogojOey set up for this 1-1 timing, but then also went for the +2 missile. He built a spine crawler defensively, but then he canceled it. It felt like that just felt so like it feels like they've played on the ladder so many times, or they've played in smaller tournaments so many times, and there was something that we didn't see there that they saw between each other, and I think it led to a really big misread from GogojOey, and it ended up with a bit of a lopsided game 1. But good job from MeomaikA. Clearly there's some mind games happening well below the surface.
Yeah, I think GogojOey just expected MeomaikA to be way greedier, or maybe banked on the fact that Meo would only make a couple of safety roaches and try to go into Aspire, and then GogojOey is like, I can hit him while he's spending money on Aspire, while he's banking up some resources to get some Muras out, but whatever he saw, whatever he thought, it clearly was not there. Like, yeah, he had a few more units initially at the third of MeomaikA, but that honestly wasn't the overwhelming advantage where you can move command deeply in between those bases, be like, now as soon as I start fighting, I'm going to wipe the floor with his units. And then on top of that, he did not have an answer for all these units that Meo rallied to his side of the map. I mean, looking back at it, it's like GogojOey, if we're down 10+ roaches, we shouldn't be aggressive, right? We should be defending. If we're playing double Evo and we want to get +2 missile attacks, we should try to wait until at least those upgrades are out. And if Meo wants to attack into you, that's fine. Then you've got defender's advantage with your queens. You've got the quicker reinforcements popping. And maybe then you can buy enough time to at least get +2 missile attacks. And then we can start dreaming about being aggressive. Bit of an odd one, but kind of, I guess, what we expected between these two.
Yeah, a lot of mind games, a lot of strangeness in general. And ZVZ is already a matchup that can be strange as a rule. But when it's two players that inherently embrace the chaos of, you know, quote unquote random build timings of like you build units at a timing that is very off meta, when they both do that, it can look a little bit funky. But I do want to give big kudos to MeomaikA. He played that out really cleanly. He clearly had a read on GogojOey that was just really solid. And GogojOey for his part, he kind of did a few things that didn't make a ton of sense in terms of his build. Like that Carapace timing implies that you want to hit a timing, but then he gets the +2 missile, and then he gets that spine crawler, and then he cancels it, and then he moves out when his opponent's building pure units. Like you said, I think he was expecting a Spire, but instead it was more of like a kind of a Solar-esque, ultra dedicated timing, really clean, not a cheese, but just a very aggressive move that says, okay, if you're not dealing with this perfectly, I'm gonna kill you. And it kind of hit right into the perfect setup for MeomaikA.
Yep. Game 2 is going to be played on the American server. We are on Singapore now, and the map that we will battle on is going to be Site Delta. For GogojOey, it is now or never. Obviously, making it to the final round of the Swiss group stage is good, right? I don't think many people thought he was going to win 2 series necessarily. We know that he's a good player. He's a wild one. So I think he can already be kind of proud of his run. If the journey ends here, you can say it is what it is. I think at least you want to go out with a proper fight. You want to make your opponent sweat. Historically, MeomaikA is a big favorite over GogojOey. He wins around 3 out of 4 series. But 3 out of 4 is not like he won 15 in a row, right? Or he never beats the guy. Like 3 out of 4 is like, okay, I have a tough time with this dude. But if the stars align, it's ZVZ. I can put up at the bare minimum a fight. And I can steal a decent amount of games. That first game is not a game that GogojOey can possibly be happy with. Not just because it's a very important and big moment. It's just that very little happened. And then it just ended. And we attacked when we shouldn't have attacked. He also hit a tiny supply block. So maybe that gave him a few less roaches than he was supposed to have. But overall, if you're down 10 plus roaches, you cannot be the aggressor in ZVZ.
And here we go. We've got spawning up in the top left. He is looking to rectify some of those mistakes and find his footing in this series. It is GogojOey.
And in the bottom right side of Site Delta, we're looking at main base of our Vietnamese Zerg, the crazy one, the one that we would all love to see in the playoffs as well, because he can come up with some weird stuff, especially in the ZVP matchup, that just makes us all look at StarCraft a little different. This is a lovely little fella. I hope that he can actually make it to the offline event as well. That'd be fantastic. It is MeomaikA.
The King of Sea, as we like to call him. Like I said, he is a player that pretty much pool first every game in ZVZ. I actually don't know if I said that, but I had the thought. But he pretty much always opens up with that 17 pool in this matchup. GogojOey, he is going to go back to a more standard hatch first. So he's going to be playing a little bit more of his own, well, his own comfort, GogojOey. And I think it's important when someone is super stylistic not to try and play their game. I think it's important that you play your own game. So I'm glad to see GogojOey going back to a little bit more standard setup here.
I would love to switch it up overall a little bit. Like last game, we didn't make circling speed. Obviously, there was no Ling Bane phase. I think that GogojOey is a pretty damn good Ling player. If I go back to some of the games I've seen of him in this tournament as well, feels that he's quite quick. And if you are quick, if you have a lot of APM to spare, you know, sitting on 2 base roach bills, I mean, that's something that the old people do, right? If you're getting a little bit slower, you're like, all right, can't really rely on the speed anymore, but I can still hit a gnarly timing. I'd love to see GogojOey try to make some magic happen with just a lot of Lings and Banes early on and dictate the pace of the game a little bit more, because clearly last game he gave up all that momentum by the opening that he chose, and yeah, this didn't really go anywhere. MeomaikA is the one who's got Zergling speed on the way. GogojOey does not. These 4 Lings, as I said earlier, you can maybe get a drone. You kind of need to pin that drone down immediately. And if your opponent is paying attention with 4 Lings defensively here, MeomaikA can't really do anything, but it's a bit of a scout.
Yeah, it's a nice little scout, and he is a bit of a pain right there with that. So, you know, doesn't get anything done, but he still sees, yup, hatch first, yup, everything's where it should be. You're not doing anything weird. But as you said, yeah, I think I would have preferred that 3rd base. This time, once again, it is going to be that fast layer. MeomaikA, for his part, is going to be going for Ling speed, but no 3rd hatchery just yet. I think GogojOey trying to get the scout here, but no, he's going to turn around and skirmish these Lings. Oh, MeomaikA, tiny mistake, loses 1 more. But once again, these are small potatoes trades. I am curious, though, what MeomaikA is planning with 2 bases and Ling speed. Is he going to be going for a quick Spire in this game?
Yeah, I'm kind of feeling some Spire vibes as well, because he lets Link Speed finish up. And a couple of Zerglings are going to make it into the main base, though. Now, that's the biggest scout, right? This is very useful information for GogojOey. I don't know if he actually saw Links moving quickly towards the end, but...
that's what I'm wondering, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, he's going to see that anyway, right? He's got an Overlord in the center of the map right now, so if he didn't see it before, he's going to see it right now, and he'll be like, huh, so 2 base, but a Zergling speed. And indeed, more often than not, that means that the Zergling player wants to go into a Spire. This map is a little bit smaller than the previous one, and I look at the center of the map, and I can already see a bit of a German highway form, right? A little bit of a creep autobahn to just rally a whole bunch of roaches to the other side of the map. GogojOey has gone into roaches a bit earlier. He has supply block here for a split second, and he's going to lose one more Overlord, but he's got plenty of Overlords finishing up. I think the man is going to hold down the roach button and just rally roaches to the other side of the map. +1 missile attacks is going to be done. And I don't know how MeomaikA can defend that. With 2 base, a Zergling speed, yeah, with spines, exactly. But he's going to need a lot more than 1 or 2 spines. This is one of these games, I think, StatFast, where you need a silly amount of spines if you even want to think about holding this.
Yeah, I agree. He's building that first spine to start, and he did build the Roach Warren. It was, of course, later than, you know, previous, but he is having that roach tech available. But I think against a really dedicated +1 roach speed attack, this is almost the opposite of what we saw in game number 1. This is exactly what GogojOey wants to be going up against with his setup. And as you said, there is the creep dropping down. MeomaikA not building any more spines. He can't afford it. I think he needs to cancel the Spire. I don't think he's got the resources for it.
Now, I don't hate the Spire when it's this far along, but I think moving the Spine to the low ground, trying to defend all 3 bases, I think that's a little bit adventurous, but MeomaikA did go into roach production rather early himself, so I guess he feels that he can barely hang in there, but obviously he does not have +1 missile attacks here, so he's fighting with inferior roaches. It also won't take too long for the GogojOey reinforcements to show up. So far, not too bad, though, on MeomaikA's side, as he is going to push this back, and we've got just one Mutalisk on the production tab, now the second one as well. But I actually think Meo did really good there in the end. I thought moving the spine to the low ground was a bit of a mistake, and maybe it would have been better on the high ground. But because he dropped his Roach Warren, and he did go into Roach production when he did, it was all barely good enough, right? He could kind of get away with it. Now he's got a Spire. GogojOey is going to try to attack again, but the Roach numbers are so damn similar at the moment that... Sure, GogojOey, you've got +1 missile attacks. I don't think he can really be aggressive anymore, StatFast.
No, that was just so well done right there by MeomaikA. The Spine Crawler got exactly what it needed to done, which was just barely tilt the fight enough in the favor of MeomaikA. We are going to see an attack coming in on the 3rd base, but it's a bit of a bait and switch. He turns around and he's going to trap the army. Oh, GogojOey